Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Obviously you guys know what this is about. I don't even know what I'm saying. As you guys know, I've moved to Canada now. I've got all my stuff sorted and I've moved to Whistler. I've moved from an hostel to staff housing, and now I'm actually about to start work. As of this video, I've already had one training day and I'm gonna have more training days next week. So I feel qualified enough to explain exactly how I got my job at Whistler. I've been through it now. I haven't actually started properly, but I'm on the right track. So I'm just gonna get into this video right now. Okay, so we're gonna back up to November last year is when I started the process for my my visa to be able to work here. That's probably the most important thing. We need the visa before we can get a job, right? On the website it said that if you're planning to travel in the next 12 months to get your visa now because of the delays or whatever. So that's why I started mine so early. But if I was you, I would start between 6 months to, actually not 6 months, maybe 6 months to 1 year before you're planning on coming. So if you're planning on coming next year in 2023, definitely start now, because it can be a long process. And then once you get approved for your visa, which could be in a couple of months time, then you have 1 year to activate it. Your plans end up getting delayed, you can always just come to Canada, activate your visa, get your visa, which is good for 2 years, and then go back home if you're not ready yet. So there are options if you get it too early or that kind of thing. So early this year, I was so ready to apply for jobs. I'm I want to get my job sorted. But the thing is, all these jobs start in November or October, right? So they're not looking to hire people in January. They're looking to hire people much later in the year. So for a long part of the year, I was very stressed, but I really shouldn't have been, because it's everything has its time. So you just have to let it be. A lot of ski resort jobs offer staff housing, which is the route that I wanted to go. So obviously I couldn't really organize staff housing without the job. So again, I had to wait for that. But if you're going down the route of shared housing or getting your own house, that's definitely something that you can look into earlier in the year and get some ideas of costs and what's available and that kind of thing, so that you're prepared. And then in that case, you may need to come to Canada a little bit earlier than you planned, just so that you can get your house sorted, see it in person, because you can't do anything online. Obviously, you need to see it in person, get that sorted, and then get your job if that's what's going to happen for you. So it's important to keep an eye out for when the jobs become available. I'm pretty sure we applied in August. There may have been some available in July, but around that August time when you can start applying for jobs, and they'll be very clear: winter 2022 to 2023. It'll be very obvious that the jobs are seasonal jobs, and it'll be for their winter season. As soon as you see them become available, make sure you apply for a range of positions. Don't just be hooked on one thing. Say you want to be a liftie, don't just apply for lifty, apply for some other roles, because you never know, as it's just getting your foot in the door. Also, don't be hooked on just one place. Make sure you apply for lots of different places. Better to have a range of opportunity available to you, and then you can narrow it down from there. So we applied for Banff, Whistler, the main ski resorts, and then also smaller jobs, and then some smaller ski resorts around the area too. So we definitely applied for a lot. I then got video interviews scheduled from applying. So I had an interview with Lake Louise, and I was offered a job through that, which I'll explain in a minute. And I also had an interview for Whistler. I also had more interviews lined up, but once I received my job offer and accepted my job offer for Whistler, I cancelled those interviews just because I didn't want to waste anyone's time. But if I hadn't have been guaranteed staff housing, I probably would have still done my interviews and still had other options available to me, because it's totally okay to do that. It's better to just try and get job offers from other places, and then you can tell people no, because then they're not going to take it personally. It doesn't matter at all. I had my interview with Whistler on a video call with a manager of a restaurant, and we talked for a long time, about 20 to 30 minutes. She was asking me lots of questions about my experience and just kind of personal questions about my about my values and that kind of thing, just to get a feel of who I was as a person. And she recommended me a role that she thinks I would be suited to. During my interview, I also mentioned that I need staff housing. and that I would be traveling with my partner, because they're two obviously very important things that she would have to take into consideration. Within an hour, she had emailed me back and thanked me for my time, and she offered me and Stefan both a job as cooks in restaurants, and that we could be guaranteed staff housing, which is not something I knew they did, but as soon as I heard that, I took it immediately and I cancelled my other interviews. My advice for your interview, especially if it's a video call, I mean, it probably will be a video call because you're in a different country, but my advice is to just be as like energetic as you can, because obviously they're not going to be able to see your body language as much on a video. So it's really important that you really increase your tone of voice, make your energy come out in your voice, okay? I know it's okay to be polite, oh, hello, yep, thank you, but maybe be a little bit louder, a little bit clearer, a little bit more polite. Use like, more energetic words, because that's how your personality is going to come across. So basically, once you've accepted your job offer, you'll get sent to a portal, like their online portal for jobs, and then from there you can accept the offer and you'll sign some forms, and then after that it's basically a waiting game, at least for a few weeks. You don't really hear anything. You're waiting for the information about staff housing. So staff housing opens up like about a month later. Then from there you apply for staff housing, and in that part, that's where you can request a roommate. Sometime during September you'll probably get some emails from a manager or a head of department about working at Whistler and what we can expect in the dates and that kind of thing. The starting date for my year was November 14th is what's said on my job offer. I did like an intake call where you kind of plan or overview of what the job entails, what your day will look like, how many hours you'll work, just a little bit about Whistler in general, which was good. And then again, it's a bit of a waiting game. Basically, I think it was the day that we arrived in Canada when we were getting our visa before our holiday, we got an email saying we're being accepted for housing. Then at that point we had to log into our housing portal. So there's a different housing portal, right? There's like so many damn portals, but anyway, there's a housing portal. Go in there, you accept your bed, and then I don't know what this is, and then you have to pay a damage deposit, which was 175 Canadian dollars each. And then again, it's just waiting. Obviously it feels like you don't know anything for a long time and you're like, what is going on? We had to remember that for them it's still like a month or 2 months away from starting, so they don't send out anything too early. Around October is when they'll provide more details, but again, it's like not a lot of information. It's very, very basic information. Arrived back in Vancouver the end of October, and we got our SIN and all that sorted, and then we came to Whistler on the 31st of October, so 2 weeks before we were technically starting. We just had nothing to do and we just wanted to be here and get settled, and then possibly like find some temporary work for the time being. Then around that time is when we got sent an email basically describing what our first few days would look like. So my first 2 days were online training, which we got access to like a few days prior, so I ended up just doing it the week before. Very straightforward stuff. In-person training would be at a designated location, kind of near the staff housing, at a place called 18 Below. And we didn't get told what the training would be about, but I actually just did that yesterday, and that was just kind of, again, getting to know Whistler and working for Whistler, their values, all about the sustainability targets, and then kind of what a day would look like, clocking in, clocking out, just all sorts of information like that, which was very handy to know, and getting to meet like our managers and that kind of thing. And then following that, some people are doing one training this week, mainly like the managers and that kind of thing. And then next week, Monday and Tuesday, we are doing in-person training at the restaurant, which will be fun, and I'll share that more about that once I've done it. Then Wednesday we are doing a soft open, which is when the day before we open, just to see how we go, and that's when all the staff get to come right on the mountain and just test it out, which is very cool. Thursday, which is the following day, we open the mountain and there'll be customers, so it'll be really crazy and I'm super excited for that. But yeah, that's basically the process of getting a job. The main takeaways is that working for Whistler, they are an extremely big company. There are a lot of different departments, a lot of new employees, and it can get a little bit messy. So just be patient and understanding that they have a lot of people to deal with. Don't email them 24/7. Don't send lots of information. Read the information they give you. Trust in them. Be patient. Just wait for things. If you're really not sure, then email them, but everything will come to you at the right time, and it'll make sense at the right time. As long as you've like accepted your job offer, been getting kind of regular emails, and you've got all your housing organized, you are going to be sweet. If you don't have housing, you know, which some people won't, you just have to come here and stay at a hostel and hope for the best. But I'll get into the housing stuff another time because this video is already way too long. But I really hope that explains a little bit about what to do and when to do it. And honestly, don't stress. Don't stress at January. Don't stress March, June, even July. Don't even worry, because you are going to get a job and you may even get housing and everything's going to work out. Just make sure you're totally open to experience, open to new opportunities. If you don't have your heart set out in one place, and it's gonna all work out. So yeah, all right, good luck with your journey. If you guys need anything else, I will be here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Catch you later.